Imagine waking up to an email notification from someone you've never met. It isn't a newsletter or another promotional offer. It's a reply that says, "This sounds interesting. Can we talk tomorrow?" A week later, that conversation turns into a contract worth $5,000. To most people, it sounds like luck, but behind that single reply is a process built on patience, psychology, and one of the oldest tools on the internet: email. While everyone rushes toward the latest social platform or AI trend, thousands of freelancers quietly build profitable businesses by mastering something far less glamorous but surprisingly effective. Making your first $5,000 online has become almost mythical. Scroll through social media and you'll find people promising overnight success with dropshipping, crypto, or viral content. Beginners often jump from one opportunity to another, convinced that the secret lies in finding the perfect business model. Yet many successful entrepreneurs started somewhere much simpler. They didn't wait for thousands of followers or a viral post. They identified businesses with real problems and started conversations with the people who could benefit from their skills. That's the quiet power of cold email, when it's done the right way. The problem is that most people never experience that version of cold email. They copy a generic template from the internet, replace a company name, send hundreds of identical messages, and wonder why nobody responds. From the recipient's perspective, those emails all sound the same. They ask for meetings before earning attention. They talk endlessly about the sender instead of the business receiving the message. Within seconds, they're deleted. Imagine owning a growing company. Every day, your inbox fills with promises from strangers claiming they can double your revenue, transform your marketing, or revolutionize your website. After seeing dozens of nearly identical pitches, you stop reading them altogether. The failure isn't caused by email itself, it's caused by treating people like numbers instead of businesses facing unique challenges. Professionals approach outreach differently. Before writing a single sentence, they spend time understanding who they're contacting. They visit the company's website, read recent announcements, look through LinkedIn updates, and search for clues about where the business is growing or struggling. Instead of asking, "How can I sell my service?" they ask, "What problem might this company already be trying to solve?" That small shift changes everything. A personalized email doesn't need to be long or clever. Sometimes a simple observation about a recent product launch or a website issue is enough to prove that a real person took the time to pay attention. Psychology matters more than perfect wording. People trust those who understand their situation, not those who use the fanciest sales language. Consider the story of Daniel, a fictional freelance web designer who had spent months refreshing job boards without landing consistent work. He believed businesses simply weren't hiring. Eventually, he realized something uncomfortable. He was waiting to be discovered instead of introducing himself. His first cold email campaign was a disaster. He downloaded a popular template, sent nearly 200 emails, and received only silence. Frustrated, he almost gave up. But instead of blaming the market, he studied why successful outreach campaigns worked. One lesson appeared again and again: relevance beats volume. Daniel narrowed his focus to local accounting firms with outdated websites. Instead of telling them how talented he was, he pointed out small issues that could affect client trust, like broken contact forms or confusing navigation. His emails became shorter, more personal, and centered entirely on the business owner's perspective. After dozens of unanswered messages, one reply finally arrived. It wasn't an immediate sale, it was simply curiosity. A business owner asked, "What exactly would you improve?" That question became a meeting. The meeting became a proposal. The proposal became a $900 project. It wasn't life-changing money, but it changed something more important. Daniel now had proof that strangers would pay for his expertise. Completing that first project became just as important as winning it. He communicated clearly, met deadlines, and delivered more value than promised. The satisfied client introduced him to another business owner. That referral required almost no convincing because trust had already been transferred. Over the following months, Daniel repeated the same process. He refined his niche, improved his outreach, followed up politely when people were busy instead of assuming rejection, and gradually increased his prices as his portfolio grew. Small projects turned into larger retainers. 4 months later, the total revenue crossed $5,000. The milestone wasn't reached because he suddenly became a better designer overnight. It happened because he became better at connecting valuable skills with businesses that genuinely needed them. This journey reveals something many beginners misunderstand. Cold email isn't really about email. It's about creating opportunities that wouldn't exist otherwise. Every successful campaign starts long before the message is written. It begins with choosing a valuable service, understanding a specific market, identifying companies that can benefit, listening to their challenges, and presenting a solution with genuine confidence rather than desperation. Many myths disappear once you see the process this way. Cold email isn't automatically spam. Spam ignores the recipient, while thoughtful outreach respects their time and addresses a real need. You don't need thousands of leads if you're contacting the right people. You don't need expensive software when research and consistency matter more than automation. And you certainly don't need years of experience. Businesses rarely buy the most experienced person available. They hire the person who best understands their problem and convinces them it can be solved. The most successful freelancers eventually realize they're no longer selling design, copywriting, marketing, or video editing. They're selling outcomes, more customers, better conversions, stronger branding, faster growth. Services become valuable only when they create measurable results. That's why trust grows into authority. Authority creates referrals, and referrals make higher pricing possible. Each satisfied client becomes evidence that reduces fear for the next one. Over time, the conversations become easier because confidence replaces uncertainty. Perhaps the biggest lesson hidden inside every successful cold email story is that rejection isn't the opposite of progress, it's part of the process. Most messages won't receive replies. Some meetings won't become clients. Some proposals will lose to competitors. But every interaction teaches something about communication, positioning, and human decision-making that no online course can fully replicate. People don't pay for emails. They pay for solutions. The email is simply the bridge between a business with a problem and someone capable of solving it. And while that bridge may look ordinary, it has launched countless freelance careers, agencies, and businesses that all began with one message sent to one stranger. The first cold email rarely changes your life, but the habit of consistently reaching out, learning from rejection, improving your craft, and helping real businesses solve real problems just might.